Fuck that shit. Thanksgiving dinner 3? Fuck that. See what I'm talking about here? What up, beaches? See what I'm talking about here? People are crazy. People are out there fucking mind with Thanksgiving. Bing, chicka chicka bam, chicka chicka bada bada, bum chicka chicka bum bum, chicka chicka bum 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 bum. This music is so romantic. Ba, ba, ba. No.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 test, test, test. Testing, 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 test, 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 testing, testicles, testing, testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 943 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, slaycast, and don't forget the mancast. In the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What is going on? Happy Sunday, all schmabishes. To all my shabishes. This coffee is needing to be a little bit stronger. Maybe it's too strong. I don't know. I sound a little under the weather? Not at all. Feeling fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. It could just be your phone or your audio. So deal with it. What's going on, everyone? What up, fam? I don't get sick, by the way. Had an amazing chest and back workout today. Nice. Nathan's on his way till Thanksgiving dinner number 3. Fucking bullshit. There's one dinner. One. You don't need multiple days. That's what I'm talking about. It's Sunday. It's not Thursday. You got to pretend like it's Thanksgiving for a third day or a fourth day. Thursday. Fourth day. Fourth fucking day of Thanksgiving. That's ridiculous. That's what everyone does. And then on Monday, tomorrow, guess what, fam? You're going into work and you're going to have everyone's shitty leftovers. Not even like 5-day-old leftovers. All the stuff that no one else could eat. They're going to bring it in and be like, hey, we brought in this. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for giving us your fucking refuse. Thanks for giving us your trash. Thanks for giving us your garbage. That's what leftovers are. It's like passing off the garbage that no one else wants to eat. They'll pretend like they're being kind. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Fuck, now we got to try to eat this crap. Son of a... All right, let me change my settings on my phone. What's going on? Those of you that are joining live on Facebook, we got Instagram going, Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. All those things are bumping. And don't forget to follow me everywhere at Swolenormous. All right, we're going hard on YouTube, so make sure YouTube at Swolenormous, Instagram, and there's tons of content on whatever platform you want. There's a lot of day-to-day and a lot of updates in many places. And just a reminder, make sure you hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Send me a message to my Facebook page, and you can get on the Daily Swole Club list where I send out exclusive content and give you guys alerts and updates and specials and stuff like that. So it's like a private messaging list. Don't forget to go over there. There's so much stuff that I do, so much stuff going on, including the Swolenormous X special that's been going on for the past few days. Remember, 1 day left, jabronis. 1 day left, jabronis. 1 day left. 50% off. Don't be a fucking mooch. Don't be a boosh. Don't be a mooch. Don't be a booch. Don't be a boosh. Don't be a beesh. Join the Swolenormous X fam. Go check it out. Swolenormousx.com. It's the tits. It's the bee's knees. It's the bee's tits. Going to turn off this auto lock on my phone so we can go through these questions. Big Q&A today. Yeah, it is. It is, Jason. I appreciate that. Well, pricing for all memberships is going up January 1st. That's the thing. Pricing is going up and changing January 1st. So even where they are now, you're getting 50% off. So it won't be like this again. Just make sure that you jump in on it. Now is the time to do so. Yeah, it's great. It's great. The family keeps on growing. And those of you that are already in Swolenormous X, I've uploaded like 6 or 7 workouts the last day or two. I'll be going over that tomorrow in tomorrow's accountability meeting at 12. So make sure that you're there. I'll be giving the updates on that and when the masterclass is this week. So this is going to be a big week for content. Going hard, going deep like Papa Swolio always does. Always does. What's up, man? What's going on, Casey? Survived Thanksgiving, crushed my workouts all week. Ready to smash December. Yeah, ready to smash it. I'm ready to get pumped. I'm ready to get pumped December. It's not December yet, is it? This is what, the 25th. Ooh, that scared me. Fast. Comes up fast. Okay, so never auto lock. Let's get this stuff going. So today is, we do for those of you that are new, if you're new to the podcast, remember you can go to swolenormousx.com, click on podcast, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Very much appreciate those reviews that everyone's been leaving on iTunes. And you can subscribe to the podcast and check out all episodes of this. And there's a ton of content. So what we've been doing the last several weeks is Sunday. We've done this intermittently in the past, but it's kind of been official. Sunday FUNDAY Q&A, where this episode is not necessarily topic based on my content and my choice. I open the floor to all of you. So you are more than welcome to ask questions. You're more than welcome to post up questions live right now. But also make sure you're following me at Swolenormous on Instagram, because those comments I post up in the feed, and you've been dropping comments that are going to be answered today, and also my Instagram story. So that's where you can kind of get ahead and guarantee, or pretty much guarantee. I mean, eventually it's going to get to the point where, we have a ton of questions today. We'll see how fast we get through them. But it's going to get to the point where we are not able to get through all the questions. So the sooner you get to them, I go by the earliest people, right? The first people that ask the questions, I default to those first. So make sure whenever I post stuff about asking questions and submit your question, submit it fast, because it's filling up. We're not going to be able to do a 3 or 4 hour podcast just answering questions. But then again, I might. You never know. Overtime. Might go overtime. Let's see who's going on right now. What's going on? Matthew, John, Flex Plum, Tanya on IG, Kim Life, what up? Let's see, Mike Studle, Nathan, what up? Tara, what exactly is available with the Swolenormous X? Tara, you got to go check out the site. It explains everything. When you click on membership options, it will break down every last thing that you get with Swolenormous X. It's everything. It's all my programs. You get access to the private community, the live master classes, all my workouts, full yoga classes, a full yoga studio, where there's 20, 25 classes already, all different types of yoga. There's tons. It's immense. It's an entire networked platform, virtual trainer. You get everything, and recipe archive, tons of master classes already that you can view. So it's intense. And it's always growing. So I recommend go check out the site. That way it can lay it all out for you, because that's why I put the site there, so it can break it all down. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. After you go check that out, feel free to, follow up if you're still have any questions. It should answer all the questions, because it lays it all down. Thanksgiving is not a big deal. Working in a restaurant, there's the real struggle. Agreed. But usually when you work in a restaurant or you're a bartender, you usually kind of get tired of the food. With a discount? No, there's no FT call. No, there's no calls. No calls. That's for premium coaching. Let's see. No, there's no call. Let's see. What up, Swole Man? Introduced my 15-year-old son to you this week. He wants to hit the 90-day dash with me. Would you suggest he does? Sure, man. Sure. It's fine. 15 years old is fine to start training. you're not going to do that much overload. And plus, you're getting him into yoga with a 90-day dash program. So that's a huge benefit to that protocol, especially when you're younger or when you're just getting started. It helps set that foundation. So for him at his age, perfect. It'd be perfect, especially with the stabilization, the balance would be challenging. Yeah, totally cool. Totally cool. It's only dangerous for young kids to lift if you're going like extremely heavy and you're going to absolute failure and you're really causing traumatic, massive overload. That's when it's going to be a challenge. Yeah, that's when it can start getting a little bit. So let's jump into the Q&A. So if you have questions, you can ask live, and I'm happy to answer any more questions about Swolenormous X or any type of programming. You can ask questions about nutrition. You can ask questions about program design, mindset approach, and I'm happy to answer. Of course, a lot of these things are based on my experience and my opinion. So you don't have to take all this as, this is fact. This is my perspective, my opinion, my experience. And a lot of this has been tried and true with clients, with members of the community. So this is often, I'm not going to be blowing smoke up your ass. If I'm not sure, I will say I'm not sure. So there's a lot of stuff that can be very individualized. There's a lot of stuff that can be, in terms of nutrition, in terms of training. There's a lot of things with mindset that's individualized. And what that means is you have your own individual approach to those things. And it's very easy to go look at, let's say, one of these books and say, oh, what were the most successful people in history? What are their, in all aspects of your life? There's certain things that are commonplace for staying consistent and staying disciplined. And that's usually what those things set up. When you get started in the morning, when you work out first thing in the morning, when you have those habits that you lock down first thing every day, it makes you more consistent. It makes your output more certain, which gets you more results long term. If the connection's kind of going in and out, it looks like I don't know, it's like fluctuating. The numbers are fluctuating a lot from my speed. So if it cuts out, just remember you can always catch the podcast. Okay, here we go. First question, how much can you lift? My answer was more than you, and in numbers, who cares? How much do I lift? In what sense? That doesn't matter. I'm not answering that question. Silly questions. Silly questions will get silly answers. It doesn't matter how much I lift. I lift plenty for me. I'm not the strongest person in the world by any means, but why would that be a goal? So not important. Let's see. How does one even out uneven muscles? Well, that could be genetics. That could be muscular insertions. That could be a nervous system issue. That could be all sorts of dominant and non-dominant concerns, but you just overload that one side, the side that is weaker, the side that is not balanced. Yoga helps with mobility. Yoga helps with posture. Yoga helps activate some muscles that might affect which muscles are getting worked when you do bilateral exercise, but things like a barbell curl might not be optimal because that could be a reason why, for example, you on an individual basis, Alva, are experiencing an uneven muscle development. Now, you didn't specify, so I can't really speak directly because you didn't give me an example of what is uneven, but sometimes it's muscle insertion. Sometimes even if you work muscles evenly, you're going to have like one ear is higher than the other. Most people, one nipple is higher or lower, or very few people are actually perfectly symmetrical, if ever. You might look and say, oh, someone's perfectly even, but most people have different left arm, right arm in size and insertions and development because you have a dominant arm that you're using over and over again for your entire life. And you're going to have certain biases. We drive in a car, you're going to lean on one side of your hip. You're going to use one arm more than the other. You're going to use one leg more than the other. So it's postural as well as the physical stress. So you're going to develop and change a little bit differently, but overload that weaker side, do more reps, do more sets, do more negatives, and you can build this up over time. But the way the muscle actually looks, that depends. It really does depend on the insertions. It depends on your genetics, because my bicep, one's different than the other in terms of shape when I flex, so everyone has that. Pretty much everyone has that. That's why a bodybuilding competition like the Olympia or something where you're judging symmetry, that's why it's so challenging, because few people are actually have the same type of symmetrical breakdown left and right. Some people just genetically have better insertions and more balanced insertion points on both sides and sizes and stuff like that of the muscles. And does masturbating or having sex reduce the ability to work out? No. From Pilot Junior 11. Smurders Richie on IG. These are all from Instagram, by the way. So people don't really... Facebook, I don't know. I think a lot of people went over to Instagram because it was easier. People didn't really see the post last time on Facebook. So these are all from IG. You've covered so much ground in what you've already put out. I just love to listen in. Thank you. Thank you. So that wasn't a question. That was a compliment. So I'll take it. Thank you very much. How long do you spend at the gym? All depends. I don't really track it, but I would say 1 to 2 hours. Sometimes I take my time. Sometimes I do more volume. Sometimes I warm up more. If you're talking about total time at the gym, sometimes I'll warm up and I'll do some work because, a lot of stuff is, everything I do is online. So it's on my phone. So sometimes I try to focus on my workout as much as I can, but sometimes I have to pause and take care of something that's pending, customer service stuff. So it's, I try to keep it as short as possible. That's why for me, I cut down on the volume during my workouts now. I've been doing a little bit less volume so I can go more frequently and make it more of a pattern, more of like a habit to get out of the office, to get moving, to be mobile more often. And, I focus on more specific exercise. So a lot of you that know my training style, it's not about doing 7 different exercises for a body part. It's about picking a couple and doing more volume, doing more sets for those exercises. There's too much variety and too many people mixing things up too frequently. And you don't have to hit all different if there's 8 exercises for chest, you don't have to do all those in one workout. And very often people try to do that. They do so many different things trying to get everything done in one session. It's like, all right, it's cool. It's cool. All you gotta do is overload the muscle. It'll still be there. It'll come back. Like your chest isn't going anywhere. You'll have another chance to work it. You don't have to do it all in one shot. But a lot of people feel like they have to, and they just do so much and they're there for 2 or 3 hours. It's big time overkill. So I don't think you should be at the gym for any longer than 2 hours, including your warm up, your cool down, your, cardiovascular warm up, your stretching, your dynamic stretching, your warm up sets. Like 2 hours should cover the whole breadth of everything. Of course, you can do a shorter workout in a shorter period of time. But if you're there for over 2 hours, if you're there, you're hanging out, you're talking, you're there at the gym. Like you shouldn't need to be at the building for more than 2 hours. And that could be a half an hour warm up, you change, so maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most. But in terms of actual workout time, usually 45 minutes to maybe a little bit over an hour, depending on how much rest or how much volume I'm doing. And that depends. That very, 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 very much depends. Celi Brigante. Best reliable sources for nutrition information for meal preps, bulking, etc. Best reliable sources. Well, I love to say myself, I'm always promoting the elimination process. And then meal prepping is just a matter of time management and organizing your food and making all at once. That's simple. And bulking is just eating more. Once you figure out the right foods to eat through an elimination process, through trial and error and testing, you know what you need to bulk with. If you're trying to do a dirty bulk and you're going to eat a lot of crap, then you're going to have a physique that reflects that. So, it depends on how much you're bulking and how much fat you're looking to put on when you were trying to bulk. In terms of other sources, I don't know. I don't know what else you want to look at. There's tons of functional nutritionists, part of like the whole functional medicine movement, which is really how people should be approaching health. So Google is your friend. There's lots of books out there. There's tons of resources. Just make sure that when you're looking at something that you understand and you can research where it's coming from, right? Is it backed by big pharma, big food? Is it biased? Got to be very careful who is spewing your information, because most people are biased or have their own opinions, right? If you're getting nutrition information from someone who's a hardcore vegan, it's obviously going to be biased against meat, against animal products and things like that. So there's a lot of, it depends on whose teacher's sucking. Whose teacher's sucking. Just make sure that you're not getting biased information. And there's tons of sources. Google is your friend. So that in terms of the best sources, I don't have like a list or something like that. I would say read books about ancestral dieting, read books on regional diets, read books on natives and evolution. Evolutionary biology is huge for really seeing what the trend of human nature and humankind and us as an animal, us as a species should be consuming. That's really important because we've been tossed into this highly technical and highly technological society, but our bodies are very ancient. Our bodies are very old, and that's why we're having a lot of problems because we're more sedentary and we're not eating the right foods for us as a creature. So we're getting sick and fucked up. All right, Extrovert 3D. I grew up lectured on the notion that I didn't put enough work at the gym if I wasn't sore the next day. Is this true or an old jabroni's tale? Are there indicators that I'm pushing myself hard enough? Yeah, soreness is not an accurate indicator of a good workout. Just because you're sore doesn't mean you worked out. You can get into a car accident and be sore. So are there indicators that you're pushing yourself hard enough? Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to toe the line. You have to figure out what is too much, and unfortunately, most people will cross that line at some point. You'll know. There's signs. It's called overtraining, right? You'll either feel fatigued, you'll feel sore, extended periods of soreness, you feel less inspired to go to the gym, you might be getting sick more frequently, your strength will be decreasing, you won't be seeing progress, hitting plateaus. There's all different types of overtraining, and you can Google that, but just because you're not sore doesn't mean you didn't have a good workout. So that is a myth. CJ Haas, I lose motivation a lot in working out. I eat healthy, but it's not enough. I know you say stick to a schedule, but every time I do, that life seems to get in the way, like terrible events happening. What would be your recommendations on that? To expect it. One of the things that is a flaw of human nature is that we tend to expect things. We tend to set a schedule that we expect will be able to be carried out. That's why I have discussed in the past about your training schedule needs to be flexible enough to absorb those types of shocks and those types of impacts. If you have a schedule that's broken down, you have a big split that's broken down 6 or 7 days over the course of the week, and you miss one day, everything gets pushed back and everything kind of gets shifted around. Everything gets kind of out of whack. If you combine some of your things, like that's why I do chest and back, that's why I do legs. So I have like kind of like a 3-day cycle that can be very, very dynamic, that I can push back one day, and it minimizes the effect of my entire routine, my entire schedule. So you have to build it in. You have to build in those kind of cushions. You have to build in that shock absorption for life to happen, because it's going to happen whether you like it or not, and not have expectations. Don't have expectations that it's going to work out. Quite the opposite. Just don't have any expectations. Just go through your thing, go through your process, and make the best of it. Like you can get these workouts in, you can prioritize them. If you find your schedule that's falling off a lot, you just have to prioritize your workout as a number one thing in your day. Do it first thing so it can't get in the way. So nothing can get in the way. And that's why working out first thing in the morning is one of the best times to do it, because nothing gets fucked up at 5 o'clock in the morning, at 6 o'clock. Nothing bad happens that early in general, right? Nothing is going to interrupt. No one's going to call you and be like, hey, we have an emergency. Very rarely, right? It's during the day when you're at work, after work, you get stuck in traffic, people are calling you, got to pick up the kids from school, you have all these other things going on, right? And you have all these other thoughts in your brain from what's been going on during the day. If you go into your workout first thing in the morning, you're much more likely to be consistent, because then shit's going to happen during the day. You're going to have fucking shit hit the fan. However, you got your workout done, right? So even if shit hits the fan, you got your shit done, you got your workout on, and at minimum, you are consistent with your fitness and your training. So you can still make progress. It's just prioritizing that. So that might be a good hack for you. I don't know your schedule because you didn't specify there, but good question. The Bushy Bee. Ooh, the Bushy Bee. Good name. Tips for digestive problems, bloating, excessive, etc. That's a typo, but I'm not sure what you meant there. Digestive problems, elimination diet. I would look into things like probiotics, fermented foods that may help. So a lot of times bloating and digestive issues are coming from the food that you're consuming, the quality, not the quantity. So addressing and determining and going through that type of systematic process to eliminate foods one at a time, or in major groups, commonly inflammatory groups like dairy, grains, just to test those things will oftentimes get rid of the bloating, get rid of those digestive problems, and allow you to heal. So I love bone broth. Bone broth is great for digestive issues, for leaky gut, for inflammation in the gut. But if you follow some of my content, check out the elimination diet, check out that type of inflammatory. I have a lot of episodes on inflammatory foods, and that can be some great insight to start working and reversing that process, because you can repair your gut, but a lot of times it's over the course of decades that we build up these bacterial profiles and these bacterial ecosystems that on a macro level are just really ingrained in our body. So we can change, and you can change what's going on in your gut biome on a day-to-day basis. There's just like some kind of surface levels of bacteria, just to think about it this way, like the top levels of bacteria you can kind of, change. Oh, I'm eating different foods, so those bacteria change and die off. But that fundamental, that base layer that you've created and cultivated over decades, that takes a lot longer to fix and to change. So that's where you have maybe people doing these different diet plans and changing how they're eating drastically, and they have indigestion, they have issues, right? From someone that never went, I don't know if you've had this experience, anyone watching, listening live right now, if you went keto all of a sudden, you had digestive issues for a little bit, or you went vegan and you had digestive issues for a little bit. So some of you might have had that experience when you change your diet drastically. Your stomach kind of felt jacked up for a while. Maybe it never went away because of that drastic change. Your bacteria is what digest things in your gut. That's what breaks these foods down, the acids and also the bacteria that thrive in the environment that you've cultivated. So you're shifting those major things. Manuela, what's your recommendation on IBS? Have you done an elimination, Manuela? I mean, this is whatever I say is not going to go against or supersede anything you've talked about with your physician. However, you need to take that information with a grain of salt, because they don't necessarily have all the latest nutrition information and content. So I would definitely look up leaky gut, things like bone broth and things that are high in those quality fats are generally beneficial. Anti-inflammatory foods, things like probiotics and fermented foods may be beneficial to you. I like sauerkraut personally. So there are definitely options for you. And IBS is going to be individualized. You're going to have certain things that probably irritate you more than others, but usually it's those common inflammatory foods. And I don't like to I'm not trying to demonize any one food, like, oh, it's sugar, oh, it's bread and grains and pasta and dairy. Those are very much blanket statements, because everyone reacts to those foods on an individual basis in different magnitudes. So someone might have a fucking violent reaction. Come on, this could be one of you. You might have a violent reaction to dairy, but someone else drinks a gallon of milk and they feel fine, or they don't react the same way you do. Okay. Doesn't mean that dairy is good for them. It doesn't mean that it's like helping them. Maybe they would be better without it too. However, maybe it just doesn't manifest itself in the same way. Different types of dairy, for different people. So there's that bio individuality, just like what I was talking about a moment ago with the bacterial profile. You have trillions and trillions of bacteria and different types, different kinds. So your body literally is a garden, and you need to grow these things properly. And if you have an imbalance, it can cause a lot of problems. Can I make bone broth from grass-fed lamb bones? No beef? Yes, absolutely. Bone broth is bone broth. You can make bone broth. I mean, is it the same nutrient value as beef? No, but I'm not saying it's worse either. But I mean, they're different animals, so you're going to have different nutrient profiles or densities. I can't speak on exactly what those differences are, but obviously, like if you have chicken bones versus beef bones or lamb, I mean, they're going to be different. They'll taste different. They'll have different qualities, but probably similar for like the basic properties of what would make bone broth beneficial, I would assume, but you can check that out. Geeky Gainster on IG. What do you believe is the best way to increase strength on pull-ups? I suck at them and I want to get stronger. Pull-up negatives. There's way too much of this band work. Everyone that puts the band on the bar and uses that to help them to assist pulling up, that's not really doing anyone any favors. If you're extremely, extremely weak and you can't even do a negative, it's an option. That's the only time you should be using those bands around the pull-up bar. Aside from that, it's pretty much a waste of time. I really am not a fan of the bands around the bar. It gives people like, it kind of pumps up their ego, like, oh wow, I did a pull-up, I put the band on, I can go up and down. It's not really doing you a service. It's not helping you really get stronger in the most efficient way. A lot of times you'll see that in group exercise classes, and it's just, doesn't mean that it's not doing anything, but what you're trying to do, if you're trying to do a full pull-up, you want to get stronger to do a pull-up without that band, get rid of the band. Get rid of the fucking band, because it changes your angle. It takes away your core stability, which is huge for doing a pull-up. So negatives. What you need is a box or a chair. Yeah, thanks, Oliver. Yeah, I have all this. Those of you that are Swolenormous X members, I have the pull-up negatives. You can find that in your instructional video archive. And we're going to be doing a masterclass on pull-ups and negatives. Maybe we'll even do that this week or the week after. But there's a masterclass coming up on body weight exercise, increasing strength on body weight exercise, because a lot of people have issues with that, with push-ups and pull-ups. And there's a similar strategy to do with both of those. And with negatives, you can start off with an isometric, start at the top, and do holds with your chin above the bar, complete full contraction, and then you lower yourself down with your body weight. If you're unable to do that, that's where a band could come in handy, but you can start off with just the isometric hold at the top. And controlled negatives are the best way to work the same exact muscles during the strongest range of motion with the lats and the biceps and the posterior deltoid, which is the eccentric, which is the lengthening. So you want to overload the strongest range of motion. That way you can train your body to, in a free, proprioceptively enriched environment, can control the body through that space. So you want to do it as free weight as possible, and negatives are by far the best way. Many of you in Swolenormous X have improved and done more pull-ups or gotten your first pull-up with doing that process. So, yes. German 18. If I were to eat myself, would I get twice as big or disappear? Love it. Nice question. Nice. Keegan Williams, are you on a diet? If so, what kind of diet are you on? Yes, I am on a diet. And I don't believe in demonizing the word diet. I think we just need to redefine it. Diet just means way of eating. So everyone is on a diet. Some people just have a random fucking diet, and some people eat more specifically. So yes, I am, but no, I am not on anything that you'll find that's categorized, that has a name, that has an official, it's not called keto, it's not paleo, but I eat the foods that I like, and I eat them based off my own personal elimination, my trial and error, and I'm very happy with it. So yeah. At the end of the day, what makes you feel this is from Glen Ham and Cheese. At the end of the day, what makes you feel the happiest, either in the gym or at home or with your channel? You have so much going on. What gives you that accomplished feeling, self-pat on the back type thing? Ooh, good question. Good question. I never feel satisfied with anything. Probably not. What makes you feel the happiest? I mean, that's such a subjective thing to ask. I love training. I love when I get like the feedback from members and from people. I love the messages that says, when you all send me messages and say, that I've changed your life, I lost so much weight, you're an inspiration, you help me get to the gym when I don't feel like going. That's really rewarding. Even when I complete a video, yeah, there's that sense of completion and accomplishment, but usually the accomplishment comes when I get your feedback. So when you all DM me or you send me an email or a Facebook message and you tell me how much my content, or whether it's Swolenormous X, whether it's Instagram or something that I made you laugh, you loved it, or that helped you lose weight, you feel better and, change your life. All these, I get some really intense messages that really mean the world. So that's really when I feel the happiest and most accomplished, because everything else I work on doesn't end. Do you know what I'm saying? Like with the channel, with the podcast, like this isn't podcast 933 out of 1,000. This is just podcast 933. Like it doesn't stop. Like I'm not stopping this. I'm not stopping anything that I'm doing. So it's hard to feel accomplished because there's no end point, if you know what I'm saying. So it's important to have goals and checkpoints and concepts. But when I started all this, There wasn't exactly like this hardened vision, like this is exactly what I want to happen. And a lot of that I still don't know. I'm kind of just enjoying the ride and enjoying what's going on and adjusting and enjoying what I'm seeing in the, from the community and from the growth here, and just from learning more about all of you and helping people improve themselves and, get to places where they never thought they could, just feeling better, decreasing pain, feel just like, it's so much more satisfying to me than, oh, I lost all this weight. That's great. And it's easy to stick on those kinds of transformations. Like, I lost 100 pounds. That's awesome. And people can relate to that because people understand what 100 pounds is. So of course, you put those pictures around and, hey, look at this person lost this much weight and congratulations. And that's awesome. That's a huge part of health. But when someone says that they've been struggling with bloating or like discomfort and pain and aches and just sluggishness, and we have a conversation, or they see one of my videos or my posts and they start cutting out some of these foods that they've always been eating their entire life, and they just never thought about their fitness and their training this way, and they just feel like a brand new person. That means the most, because that's really changing someone's life. You're not living in pain. You're not living in discomfort, like constant discomfort, constant bloating, constant aches, constant stiffness with yoga and stuff like that. To remove someone's pain and suffering in that sense, whether it's mobility wise, whether it's injury wise, whether it's food wise, that's the most impact, because a lot of you and a lot of people that come into this community don't understand how much strain and stress their body is under until you start practicing yoga, until you start really paying attention to what you're eating with your food. And then all of a sudden your whole body changes and like just feel better. And then because of that, because you feel better, because you're not in pain, because like, wow, you feel like you have a whole new lease on life. Guess what? You get really involved and get really amped up with your training, and you take it further, and you're moving more and you're exercising more because you feel better and you're seeing more results. So it's really like the first domino. It's at that fundamental spot. It's that keystone that, once you trigger that, a lot of the other things come. So I think that's why I get most pleasure or happiness or satisfaction or accomplishment from those types of messages, from those types of results, because I know those other things are just part of that domino train. Like, those will come. But now that this has been, that button has been, or that switch has been flipped, all those other things are now possible. You know what I'm saying? So really good question. And I hope I answered it with that. Hope I stayed on topic with that, but yeah, absolutely. You're welcome, Mike. Trisha, why you are doing it makes a difference in people's lives. Thank you, dear. Mike Stuttle, my man. Fuck yes, you gave me my life back. You are a godsend. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That means, it really does mean the world. And I get a lot of these messages. I wouldn't say a lot, but I mean, I do get them. And it's also funny, kind of like what goes around. It's kind of like that karma type thing. Whenever I need it the most, this isn't planned, of course, right? So whenever I need it the most, I usually get one of those messages. It's really interesting. Sometimes when I myself, I'm not always up at the top. Sometimes I get low, I get drained, I'm exhausted. I'm not sure what to do next. And, it happens with me too, with other things, like with all the social media and everything. It's very overwhelming at times. It's a lot all the time, a lot to juggle all the time. And usually when it's just like one of those moments where I just need a boost myself, I'll get a message like that. And it's like, fuck yeah. It just reminds you that you're on track. So always think about that. Whenever you want to quit, quitting doesn't cross my mind, but it's usually when there's those moments where you're just feeling a little on the back nine, all of a sudden that one of those messages pop through. So it's kind of always coincidental like that, which is awesome. All right. Next question from Fanny Duggan Hoog Stratton. Okay. That's a lot of names. Hell of an Instagram screen name there. Apologies if you've already covered this. I completely believe that we take responsibility and own our behavior. That being said, what are your thoughts on hyper palatable foods that are made with specific combinations of sugar, fat, and salt to have a specific bliss point and mouthfeel? What are my thoughts? That people make these things in labs in order to get you to not stop eating them. Doritos, Oreos, right? Oreos, for example. If you look on the back of a package, you see all the sodium in there. Why do you think there's salt in there? Why do you think they put so much salt? Because that salty, sweet trigger point makes you want to keep on putting them in your mouth. What are my thoughts? My thoughts are that they're created to keep you fucking eating them. I don't know. I mean, I've covered that for sure. We've talked about bliss point many times, but I'm not sure what you mean by what my thoughts are on that. Like you made a statement, you stated a fact. I'm not sure what you want me to say about it, but yeah, those are the foods made in labs. That's why people can't stop eating them, or that's part of it. Hillary on Facebook, Instagram cut you off for shame. Instagram cut me off yesterday because there was a song in the background. They're starting to fucking police it live. I work out 2 times daily because it works with my schedule. I joined a gym next to work as well as my regular. On my lifting days, would you recommend weights at lunch when I only have 45 minutes, then finishing the body part I didn't finish on my split after work? Yoga's on my rest day, or is it counterproductive? It depends on the volume. Usually people do not need to work out twice a day. It's just not necessary. If you have 45 minutes to lift, you can do a full workout. You probably don't need to do 2 workouts a day. It's possible you're just doing too much. You just don't need it. It's quite possible. 45 minutes is more than enough to get like a workout in, and the workout that you need for that day. You may like to start implementing yoga into the same day where you do weights and you do a yoga flow. And you could mix that up with doing weights plus a stronger vinyasa yoga flow. And other days when you feel a little bit more fatigue, you could do a yin, some of like a passive gravity type yoga. So there's different ways with that. It's not counterproductive. It's just, you might not need. I never really understand. I always kind of think, why are you doing 2 a day? Why? And it's not that you shouldn't or can't. Just I never do. I never consider going twice. I don't want to go twice. I want to fucking get out of there. Cardio, yoga, weightlifting when you wake up or before bed. Is that a question, Trevor? What kind of, you asked like, that was vague. Can you specify? Which one are you talking about? You don't need to do a ton of cardio. Do a warm up before you lift or something like that. You don't need to go like running everywhere. I don't know what kind of cardio you're referring to, but generally it's not good to do exercise before bed because it'll affect your sleep. How do you feel about processed junk food being cheaper and more from the same person, more widely available than good quality organic whole foods? I don't think it's necessarily more widely available. I just think people don't go to the places where there is organic and healthy food. There's plenty of healthy food. There's Whole Foods everywhere. You can order stuff online. The supermarkets have tons and tons of healthy options. They just put it in your face more because it's cheaper and people are addicted to those. People don't get addicted to kale. They get addicted to chips. So how do I feel? I don't feel like the same question. How do I feel? I don't fucking like it, but it doesn't affect me. Here's the thing about food like that. When you talk about junk food, how do I feel? First off, it doesn't matter how I feel. Second off, it doesn't affect me at all. You can put right outside my front door, you can put piles of potato chips. You can put all the junk food you want right there, easily accessible. People with stands like trying to sell me stuff right outside my door. I'm not going to buy it. Like, it doesn't matter where it is. It's your choice to fucking purchase it. It's the awareness of what these things do. You still have to buy it. Just because it's in your face doesn't mean you're eating it. No one's like holding you down like an interrogation and just shoving fucking food in your mouth. So widely available, it's cheaper and it doesn't go bad. Chips will stay good in a bag for like 2 fucking years. So how do I feel about it? It's just the way. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be there. It's not going anywhere. Just don't fucking eat it. Trevor, I have a busy schedule. I didn't know if it was better to wake up early and get shit done, or should I stay up late? Well, that's a different question. Yeah. If you're asking my opinion, if you have a choice, wake up early and get it done. Always better to nail a workout first thing in the morning if you can. For me, it's either first thing in the morning or like early mid-afternoon. I don't go at night. I really try not to go at night. I just don't like getting amped up, lifting, going home, and then eating late. Like I like to do it earlier in the day. I like to do it when the sun's out. More often than not. Things happen. But it's always better to get that sense of accomplishment and nail a session earlier in the day. Junk food, it can be more expensive, sure. I mean, Doritos and those chips, those big bags, family sized chips are like $4 or $5, and you're not getting any value out of it. Yeah, you eat more and never get satisfied. And plus, you're going to have to deal with medical costs and medication and issues from getting sick because your immune system and your stomach is going to be jacked up. For sure. Oh, you're welcome, Hillary. Thank you. The personal attention you give to your family is one of the reasons I love it here. Oh, we love you. We love you. All right, more questions. Got a lot of questions. We're good? Are we still, you sticking with me? Sticking with me, fam? I think a lot of people just kind of tune out. You're just listening in. Tons of great questions. Remember, you can ask questions live. I'll get to those too. I'm just trying to get to all of them given the time. We're about 45 minutes in. Yeah, it would make sense, Trevor. Yeah, I would. That's what I would recommend. How can you gain mass? This is from Rotenquat. How can you gain mass but still have abs? You're not really going to. You're not really going to. If you're trying to bulk up, you need to be in a caloric surplus. You need to be consuming enough calories, quality calories, lifting heavy. You're bulking. You're in excess. You're not really, it depends on how fast you bulk or how big you're trying to gain mass. You're not going to do it lean. You're not going to get bigger and more shredded. You're not going to get bigger. You might keep your abs. Depends on what you mean by still have abs, because you always have abs. It's just whatever little tiny layer of fat that's covering them. So, that's one of those questions where it's like, can I have my cake and eat it too? You need to pick one. If you're trying to bulk up, add mass. Here's the thing. If you're trying to bulk up and add mass, abs are not your top priority. They're not. They'll come back when you're leaner. Everyone has fucking abs. Everyone has abs. They all look different. Some people have a 4-pack, a 6-pack, an 8-pack. Everyone's muscle insertions, it's just muscle and tendon. And everyone genetically has different looking abs. You've seen people with like 4 blocky abs. You've seen all different types of shit. Okay. Not everyone has like that quote ideal, split 8, 10, 12 pack, right? Not everyone has that. That's why when someone has that, it's like, wow, I want abs like that person. You might be able to get lean like that person, but your abs are not going to look like, because you're literally a different person, right? You're literally a different human being. So that has to be understood. You always have abs. So if you're looking to gain mass, again, let me answer this question for everyone. What is your goal? Are you trying to get bigger? Then that's your goal. Are you trying to get leaner? Then that's your goal. Okay. Now there's different manners in which you can do that, but bottom line, there's a surplus or there's a deficit. Your body is gaining and having extra tools and material to build with, or you're not giving your body quite enough that it needs to maintain what it has, and it has to take from its energy stores, your body fat. So if you are in that surplus, you have extra tools, and your body is going to store fat along with building muscle. Okay? When people do these quick bulks, like 3-month bulk, most of that gain is just fat and water weight. You only gain maybe 1 or 2 pounds, maybe, if you're a freak, maybe a little bit more per month. And that's not going to go up exponentially. Like, you're not just going to keep on gaining muscle exponentially. There's only a certain amount of muscle that you can maintain naturally, because your body tops out with testosterone production. Everyone's different with that, So it's a tough call. It's a tough call sometimes, but trying to do both is the fastest way to suck at doing both. Trying to gain and stay lean. It's like, look, fucking gain and then tighten up, but you have to go on a bulk. You have to do it for 6 months or a year. Like, fucking go put on mass and then tighten your shit up. That's how the reason why people do that is because that's what the body works. That's how the body works with hormones. It's healthier to do it that way. And you're going to see better results. Why? I'm trying to stay lean and do a slow bulk, a clean bulk. What? I mean, okay, but what's with the slow gain? It's like, just fucking do it or don't do it. People are so half pregnant. They're trying to do both. How can I recomp? How can I lose fat and build muscle at the same time? It's like your focus is wrong. That's why people don't get that shit, because they're trying to, they're trying to juggle shit and they're not in the fucking circus. Stop juggling. Focus. Glenn M. and Cheese, one more question. What would you say sets yourself apart from everyone else in this industry? Everything and nothing. I don't know. What sets myself apart? That I'm not willing to sling bullshit. I think that sets me apart in more ways than one. I do not talk outside of my experience and my awareness and my expertise. A lot of people talk way, way, way above and beyond what they are qualified or what they are knowledgeable about. So that would be one thing. Obviously, a lot of things separate me, and that's probably from your perspective, that will be better answered than myself because I don't look at what everyone else is doing. But one thing I do know that I see, and that's why the Drive Mall Gaining's on YouTube, and that's why a lot of the content when I rage is a lot of people talk way, way out of their fucking lane. Really, they go just far beyond what they are capable of explaining and what they're qualified to even discuss. And most people don't even address that issue, right? When it comes to diet and nutrition, most people that you watch online are nowhere near qualified to even talk about fucking eating food. And you're not supposed to. They can get sued. They can get their fucking asses sued off. You're not qualified to talk about nutrition legally. You're not qualified to go over that shit. You have to give it. That's why when I approach nutrition, I talk about teaching you. I teach you how to go through this process. I teach you how to approach your food, what to look for, what to think about, how to eliminate foods, how to test, how your body reacts to that, because it leads you down the right path. It will deliver you your optimal diet. It will deliver you your optimal eating habits and eating patterns. And it teaches you. It teaches you how to do it. I don't do quick fix. I don't like putting like a stamp on something. This is the diet. This is what you do. It's more about the process and the approach because the journey is everything. So just to give you guys one-off information and, to plant your flag and not budge. I don't have an agenda per se. I don't have an agenda. I don't have like a vegan agenda. I don't have a CrossFit agenda. There's something for everyone. I'm very big on the mindset and just the approach and educating you and giving you my experience rather than try to act like I fucking know everything. And I think that's probably the best answer. I don't act like I know everything, and I certainly don't know everything. And most people, because they call themselves a fitness expert, feel like they have to, or they have to talk about something, or have an opinion, or make a video about something. And you can tell, or I can tell when they make a video about something they don't know about, because I hear them like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can see in their eyes when they're just making shit up. Intermittent fasting experts. Those people include intermittent fasting experts. I'm a keto expert. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not an intermittent fasting expert. That doesn't mean anything. You're making shit up. You're not a keto expert. You're making shit up. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. God, that stuff really gets me the most. I don't have any supplements that I would recommend. If something comes along that I really fucking love and believe in and experience for myself, I'm open to it. There are common supplements like creatine and things that have been proven beyond, for most people to be very effective. But a lot of the other ones that everyone just sucks down, BCAAs, all this stuff, is not really that effective. It's not really necessary. And that's just the truth. Everyone's looking for something to take. Everyone's looking for something to drink, to eat. What's the answer? The quickest way not to find the answer is by looking for the fucking answer. Getting philosophical here. Good questions, fam. Good questions. Holy shit. Are we getting anywhere closer to getting through these questions? My goodness. What are your thoughts on, good question again, from Vanny Vagahoven de Straten blah blah. What are your thoughts on junk food addiction? Do you think it's bullshit or a genuine thing? I certainly don't think it's bullshit. I think people generally don't have willpower. I think people generally think they don't have a choice. I think people generally do not have the awareness and the knowledge that this food is not good for them. People feel helpless. People feel trapped. People are overstressed with all these things and all these fake requirements of them in society. And just people feel lost, so they turn to food. I think there's definitely physical repercussions like dopamine release and instant gratification. There's also the habitual effect of it. There's the habit of grabbing certain foods, the expectation of certain tastes and certain flavors. So there's probably a little bit of both in there. I certainly don't think it's bullshit, because having bad habits creates these physical adaptations in the body and the brain chemically that expect. So when you have a craving, the craving isn't bullshit. It's a real craving. But what is a craving? I think that's really where like the awareness has to come from, and the education and thinking about it. Where does the craving come from? Is it that you're right? Like if you're, let's exaggerate, right? But this is real life for a lot of people. If you're 500 pounds, all right, if you're 500 pounds, you're extremely overweight, you're morbidly obese, and you have a craving for potato chips. You have a craving for potato chips. Is that, I mean, what is a craving? Is your body saying we need potato chips so bad because we need them to survive? Of course not. Obviously, someone who's morbidly obese, the last thing they fucking need is potato chips. So a craving is just a signal out of habit, out of just, let's say just neurological processes, like you're getting neurotransmitters that are just kind of squirting out little synapses, and just like information is being passed. Like it's potato chip time, it's salty time, it's sweet time. It's just habit. It's your body's looking for the same release. It's looking for the same gratification. It's looking for the same dopamine release, looking for that same pathway. And a lot of these things like sugar have been compared and like very similar to things like heroin and hardcore drugs, with that kind of addiction and that cause and effect response. So it's definitely biological as well, but it's a combination. It's biological and psychological, because you can break it for sure. It's like any other kind of withdrawal and changing a habit. I think we lose track that it's hard to change a habit, even like just getting up earlier in the morning. It's changing a habit like making your bed before you leave the house, or putting your keys over here instead of over there. Like a habit has to be created. It's hard for a human being to change even little tiny habits. And those are talk about macro habits, like the foundation of what your body is made up of. And if you have cultivated all these bacteria in your gut to demand and benefit or thrive off junk food, those bacteria are going to be sending signals to your brain saying, give us more, gut brain axis. So yeah, not good. You may have heard this before, but before eating, halt. Ask yourself if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. I wish it was that simple. I have not heard that before. Do you sauna at all? Dr. Rhonda Patrick has nothing but great things to say about it. Insane benefits. I don't. I just don't have a sauna near me. I don't go out of my way to sauna, but yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff about it. So you can. I haven't. I don't have a sauna at my gym, but I like doing saunas and stuff like that. I like it. I just haven't in a while. I believe food addiction, but just like alcohol for me, instant gratifications comes from food for me, not as bad as I used to be, but still get cravings. Yeah, those things don't really go away per se, but they will affect you differently, especially if you cut out food and you don't have things like pizza for a while, and you're like, oh, you remember the thought of pizza, you remember the concept of pizza, you remember you remember your memory of pizza, and then you have it again, you're like, oh my God, I feel like shit, this is not what I remember. It's because your body has changed. You've taught your body other things. Aaron, I struggled with sugar my whole life, 41 years before the elimination diet and increasing my healthy fats. Good man. Any tips on starting a YouTube video? I want to do a fitness on my road to look like Papa Swole. Ha, nice. Starting a YouTube channel. Any tips? Just start doing it. Most people talk about doing it. Most people say they want to start and they don't do it. So all you have to do is just start doing it. Start putting up stuff. Start building an audience, share your videos, make content that you like to do, and just keep doing it. That's it. Just keep on doing it. Most people don't even start, and most people start, and most people don't even start, and most of the people that do start don't continue. What's interesting, and I sometimes go on like, fitness podcasts, for example. I'll go on a fitness and I'll type in fitness on iTunes, and of course, my podcast doesn't pop up in like the top search results. I'm like, fuck. Not there yet. Papa Swole is still not popping up in the feed. But I click on some of these, and some of these people, like the last post was months ago, or, a year ago, or they used to have a podcast, or they have a podcast and it looks like, oh, cool. I click on it and the last post was 2017 or weeks ago, months ago. I mean, I don't know anyone that's doing a daily podcast in the fitness realm. You know, I don't know if there are, if there have, you know, there might be. And I think I've seen people that posted consistently and they just died off. Like they did it regularly for a while, but then they stopped. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you did it. It doesn't matter if you started, but most people aren't doing it now. If they did do it, they didn't continue. And it doesn't mean you have to have a daily podcast. I like it. I like it daily. I like it. It's like the new radio, right? It's a new radio show, but it's podcast, but there are a lot of people that do daily stuff. There are a lot of like news channels and stuff, but this is the fitness. This is the fucking Daily Swole. This is the daily fitness channel. So we got fitness news. I'll drop fitness news. I don't know. But anyway, the whole point of that was if you start, it's like, if you want to be successful with it, the answer is not quit. It's just continuing to go, right? It's just doing it. So I wouldn't be here today with all of you doing episode 933 if I quit after episode 492 or 493. It's not even a concept. The number doesn't matter. I just do it every day. The numbers come, but you get my point. Like if I quit any single one of these days, I had 900, like, all right, today's episode 933. I have 900, up to this point, there's been 933 opportunities for me to say, I don't feel like doing it today. I'll just do it. I'll make it a weekly, or I'll just do it again tomorrow. No one's going to notice. Right. So I had all those different, every single day is an opportunity to quit. Really. Every single moment is like, I can say, I'm not doing Swole Enormous anymore. Fuck it. But I don't. And that's why I'm here. Oh, I got to restart IG. Hold on a second. Right. So, I mean, that's really the shit of it. That's really the shit of it. Either you quit or you don't. And you have a choice. Every day you have a choice. Every moment you have a choice. And every time you feel like quitting, always remember, like, that's what is that's what people normally feel. But when you feel like quitting, a lot of people actually quit. Okay. I have that really popular post that I made a while back. It was a wallpaper. This is when people quit. Every time I want to quit, or every time something doesn't go my way, you think you have that low mood or that low point. Oh, and you think this is when people quit now. People stop. People don't keep going. It's like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to keep going. As if you have another option. Just don't stop. Just don't stop. Most people don't bulk enough. They don't get their physique enough. Why? Because they're not consistent and they stop and they quit. That's it. You're not getting results if you quit. You're not going to make it happen if you're not consistent. If you keep stopping, you're never going to get there. If you quit, you get nothing. That's it. Just remember that. You want to gain weight? Well, if you quit, you get nothing. You want to lose weight? Well, if you quit, you're going to keep the weight. You want to have a good YouTube channel or a podcast or something? Well, if you quit, you ain't going to have one, because if you stop, you're not fucking doing it. Like, there's no option. So if you want something to happen, you have to just not quit. Have you ever looked into Ido Portal? I've heard the name. That's a dude? No, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? I don't know about it. Sounds familiar, but send me some more information. I just can't. I'm trying to address every single question. I am not aware of the details to speak on him or it. K. Mark Phillips. I'm 6'4", 225, 50 years old. Been lifting for a while, but was injured in a wreck. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Injured in a wreck, back. What do you suggest? You are back from your injury, or you injured your back? I'm going to assume that you say you were lifting for a while, you were injured, but you're back now. What routine do I suggest? This is not just a plug. This is literally what I would have you do, is join Swole Enormous X. Join my private training community, because the 90-day dash program is perfect for building up that foundation that you lost with mobility, with stabilization training, with strength training. It's very progressive, and you'll be able to carry over your experience in the past to now and do so safely. So it's perfect for your age. It's perfect for your situation. And that is the fucking damn truth. And that's exactly why I created Swole Enormous X, because of those reasons. Because most people just go to the gym and just lift weights and they fucking hurt themselves. Most people come back or they get injuries. Most people have things they have to correct that they never do, and they have chronic, just recurring injuries. So that's why I created it. So that's exactly what I would suggest. And like most of you have already known and heard me talk about, if you're listening to this, Mark, today or tomorrow, make sure go to swolenormousx.com, 50% off. Literally, that is what you should be doing. No question about it. Pete J. Cunningham, eating 4,000 plus calories and trying to keep it as anti-inflammatory as possible. That's fucking hard, man. Is milk or dark chocolate or other alternatives an option to fill up the rest of the calories without exploding? If you're going to have dark chocolate, just keep it dark, like 70, 80% or darker. That's usually going to be something that you're going to struggle with. If you have milk chocolate, obviously you're getting a lot of dairy and sugar. So it's possible, but you're not going to eat a lot of dark chocolate because you get filled up pretty quick. You're going to get full pretty freaking quick by eating dark chocolate. That's one of the things about it. It kind of solves and kind of quells that craving for it, but it'll satisfy you pretty quick. They're an option. I mean, if it fits your plan and if you're not having issues with that, they could be inflammatory because you're consuming sugar and you're consuming maybe slightly. Everyone's going to react differently. So, but just remember, calories are not calories. It's not just, hey, I'm trying to bulk up, so let me get 4,000 calories. It's also what those calories are, carbs, protein, But yeah, eating 4,000 calories, keeping it clean, that's tough. That's why most people don't do it, because it's hard. Shay Dixon, what are your thoughts on dairy products such as milk, yogurt, etc.? I would go through an elimination first and eliminate all dairy products. You want to reset. You want to reset your... Oh, thank you, Aaron. I appreciate the comment. I credit the 90-day dash for helping reduce the pain from my low back injury to a negligible daily level. Dude, proud of you, dude. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Back to Shay's question. I always want to try to read the live ones because they disappear. And if I don't read them now, they're going to be gone. And I'm going to have to, I want to make sure everyone gets addressed. Make sure you go through an elimination first. I'm not demonizing dairy, but dairy is a very common inflammatory, especially processed dairy. Raw dairy for some people, full fat dairy doesn't cause the same effects in some people. A2 casein milk from cows that don't produce the A1 casein protein can sometimes be better for people. Let's see, things like goat, sheep, cheese, and products might not cause the same types of issues, but you're not going to know unless you get everything rid of it first. So if you cut out completely dairy, do the elimination 4 to 6 weeks, cut out dairy, and then when you bring it back, one day try one dairy product, right? You go through the whole systematic process that I have laid out in Swole Enormous X. I've done podcasts on this too, inflammation and elimination diet and stuff. But when you're testing, then you test those individual products. You test yogurt. You can test these different things and see how your body reacts to them. But you're not going to know just by getting rid of one. You're not going to know now unless you actually clean out for, 6 to 8 weeks. Really, 4 is like the minimum. But the more you can eliminate it when you implement dairy back in, then you can test out specific types and see which is best for you. If any, some people are different. Let's talk about a proper grocery list. The must-haves. It depends on the person. So that was from Mrs. Oxt, Mr. Soxt. Yeah, there's no such thing as a proper grocery list. Like I said, with the elimination, everyone's going to be a little bit different. But of course, you want to have quality products. For most people, it's going to be greens, grass-fed meats, veggies, quality in season fruits. Kenneth Snell Jr., what are your thoughts on intermittent? Jesus Christ. Every day we fucking talk about intermittent fasting. Everyone. Skipping breakfast. Intermittent fasting is called skipping breakfast. And does the pre-workout coffee caffeine stop your fast? Yes, it does. Anything but water interrupts your fast. Enzymes are released and it triggers. Yeah, it's not a fast if you're consuming anything aside from water. So I'm not giving you a hard time, but like yesterday, it's like every day, it's like people, that's where these like popular things get out of control. So intermittent fasting is not eating breakfast. That's all it is. You cannot convince me otherwise, for real. It's not eating for, like, if you're eating from 2 to 8 p.m., let's say you go to sleep at 9 or 10, like you should, right? You go to sleep at 9 or 10, you wake up, you just don't eat till 2 o'clock. You're just not eating breakfast. That's really it. You're just not eating breakfast. I do think it's good to force the body to not eat food. I do think it's good to fast. It's good to put your body through those processes, but actual fasting, right? Intermittent fasting, you mean just not eating for a little bit? Okay, don't eat for a little bit, but don't try to bulk on that. Don't think it's going to be like some kind of like mind blowing, like, whoa, I'm getting so fucking lean. If you lean out doing intermittent fasting, it's because you're not stuffing your fat face as much. Because I'm closing my window for eating. It's because you're just not stuffing your face enough. All right. You don't have as much time to be fat. So it's harder to overeat. That's why you're going to lose. You might feel better. Sure. You don't have to stuff your face with food all the time. But also, if you're eating the right foods for your body, if you're not eating inflammatory foods, that is also going to make you feel awesome, whether you eat in the morning or not. I have my coffee. I don't call it intermittent fasting, but I generally backload my day with food. I don't usually eat earlier in the day, but I don't necessarily do an intermittent fast. I don't track it. I don't, look at the clock and be like, okay, I can eat now. But I generally don't want to eat in the morning. I don't necessarily want to wake up and pound food. But if I wake up and I'm fucking hungry as shit, then I eat. I wish you had a 90-day rehab. I thought about that. I thought about starting a business that's called like the prison, and literally you get arrested. Kind of like Michael Douglas in The Game or something like that, right? You just get arrested. You get just like abducted from work. Just fucking covert ops. You get abducted. You get put on a bus. You're shackled. You get sent to a random site in the middle of fucking North Dakota, and you're fed healthy food. And you have to exercise, and you can't leave for like 3 or 4 months. Everyone just gets fucking ripped. Then you let them back out in the world. That's a real rehab. That's a real prison. That's the kind of prison we need. Put people in a fucking location. It's kind of like a healthy concentration camp. A healthy concentration camp. That's what we need. Stop eating. A place where people stop fucking eating. Generic dingus, making the switch to better quality sources of food. As far as plants are concerned, it is as simple as starting to shop at Whole Foods, or chains like that can be gimmicky as well. Oh yeah, well, Whole Foods is not necessarily healthy food. When we're talking about the store, Whole Foods, there's tons of fucking bad shit there. Don't get it twisted. Whole Foods sells a ton of garbage. Tons of garbage. It's just nicely packaged. It says organic. There's a lot of crap. There's a lot of stuff that you should not be eating from Whole Foods for sure. But you're also going to find stuff there that you don't find other places, right? It's definitely better quality when you want the quality. But there's also a lot of garbage. Sorry, a lot of garbage there. So, better quality sources of food. Things that don't have ingredients. Grass-fed beef, love it. Wild fish, great. Things like, omega-3s, fantastic. Eat your vegetables, fine. Some people, but understand that there are healthy foods, or quote, classically healthy foods that aren't healthy for some people. You can have issues with certain foods that might be touted as healthy. You can be allergic to seeds. You can be allergic to skins. And when I say allergic, it doesn't mean you're going to, break out in hives or something. It could just mean that you have poor sleep patterns, or you feel achy, you feel bloated. So things like eggplant can be problematic for people. Tomatoes, right? White potatoes, nightshades. You can have issues from certain types of greens. Everyone's different, but that's why elimination is important, because if you have, especially for those of you that have existing issues that you notice, like I have issues, I'm having problems, then an elimination diet is almost a no-brainer, because you should be really interested. I think it's a lot of it is just people taking interest in their bodies. Most people just fucking put anything in their face. Isn't that weird, fam? That most people just put whatever it's like, whatever. And I equate a car. I equate your body to a car. It's fucking weird. When you go to a gas station, and I know I've mentioned this before, but I think it's so fucking funny. I know we're getting new listeners and watchers all the time. When you go to a gas station, Do you just put in whatever gas you feel like? You're like, You pull up in your Corolla, you're like, I feel like putting in 93 today. Fuck it. My car deserves a treat. No, you're going to fuck your car up. You put in regular. All right? You put in the gas that your car is designed to take. And it's like a freaking cardinal sin to do anything else. You're going to fuck your car up. Right? You put in the right octane. Yet with the human body, that literally what you eat becomes your body, fuels your body, will help you perform, will help you function, will help you live, will prevent you from getting diseases, will, all these things. You just eat whatever. You go into the gas station and you're like, let me take 93, let me take, 105, I'll take 22, you just eat every fucking octane that possibly could exist. And then you think you're going to be healthy. Oh, I wonder why. Oh, I just gained all this weight. It came out of nowhere. I wonder why I'm having headaches. I wonder why I'm bloated. I wonder why I'm sluggish. I wonder why I can't get rid of fat around here. It's because you're eating shit. You're eating trash. You're feeding your body everything. It doesn't take everything. It doesn't accept everything. You're fucking your body up. It's the same thing as putting in the wrong octane in your car. You're literally giving your body fucking garbage. You're giving your body everything and anything. You're literally fucking yourself up. That's all I have to say about that. I don't even know where the question came from or what we're talking about. I just wanted to finish that thought. That's some fire right there. Think about that shit. How do you feel about different types of game meat for protein? Great. You get it from a wild animal. That's the way it should be. Yeah, go hunt. Go get it. Why is it so hard to motivate myself, John Stewart, 19? Why is it so hard to motivate myself to do something as simple as eat enough food to gain weight? Why is it so hard to motivate myself to do something as simple as eat enough food to gain weight? My answer, I actually answered this in my feed, and that was that you don't really want it. If you're finding it hard to inspire yourself to eat enough food to gain weight, then you don't really want to gain weight. If you truly want to gain weight, you would eat enough to gain weight. I think we tell ourselves a lot of things. We tell ourselves we want something when we really don't. And that's because either someone else around us, kind of puts that in the atmosphere that they say they want all the time, whether it's your parents, whether it's friends, whether you look on Snapchat or Instagram, you see people that are big, that are bulked up, and you feel like you want it and you convince yourself and you think you want that. You think you want abs. You think you want all this stuff, but you don't really want it because you don't do the work to get it. Something fundamental like eating more food to gain weight, you already know what to do. You're not asking me how to do it. Why is it hard to motivate yourself? Because you don't really want to do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking me. Just fucking do it. Is it going to work? Stop having expectations. If you want it, do it. If not, then don't do it. You don't have to gain weight if you don't want to. I don't know enough context about that. And what would be, and he also follows up, and what would be good foods to snack on and have for breakfast? Bro, well, I already answered those questions, but if you're trying to gain weight and you're having a trouble gaining weight, don't be thinking about snacks, man. Eat food, full food. Listen to the rest of this podcast. Check out my nutrition content and start doing it. If you're not getting results, if you're not doing it, even getting off to actually start eating more, you don't really want it. You're just saying you do. The Anti-Dad Bod. Good name. The Anti-Dad Bod 777. Samina on Facebook. Have you ever thought that if half the population on Earth would have your mentality, we wouldn't fit this planet because of the gains? I did not consider that, but that's a good point. There would definitely be a grass-fed beef shortage if everyone had my mentality, which actually I'm grateful for that they don't, because I love my beefs. Love my beefs. The Anti-Dad Bod. Okay, question. I am the worst case of, quote, all in, all out. Recently did keto for 2 months, lost about 20 pounds and only 20 pounds from my goal. What did I do after that? I cheated and kept cheating and falling out. I have been back in the gym for a month, but I have not started dieting again. Help a brother get off this on-off train, please. Well, you quit. Chances are, because you did keto for 2 months, that's not really long enough to really see the benefits of it. Obviously, you quit. It's because you chose something that wasn't maintainable for you. obviously keto wasn't right for you if you binged and you dropped off. Either your circle is weak in terms of who you surround yourself with. You weren't really, that wasn't your choice. That was just an arbitrary decision. Maybe one of your friends or family members did keto and you just saw it online or something. You just decided to do it. You have to be able to maintain it. It doesn't matter what your nutrition profile is. It doesn't matter what the diet is called. If it has a name, that's why I want you to individualize it and customize your approach. But if you are, just doing something for the sake of losing weight, then you're not really approaching your fitness the right way. That's why my personal approach is for your lifetime. You are going back to the source to figure out what foods are best for your body so you can maintain that for the length of your life. If you cannot maintain it, you're not going to be consistent. You're going to fall off. This is not a quick fix to lose weight to get to 220 or whatever the fucking hell your goal weight is. You lost about 20 pounds and only 20 pounds from your goal. You're chasing numbers. Who cares? Didn't mean shit. You gained the weight back. You couldn't stick to it. So if you approach your health from a different mindset, that weight will come off, but it'll come off the right way. So keto just wasn't right for you, or you didn't stick to it for other reasons that you didn't put down in the question. But, you have to do something that you are able to maintain. Tacos de Trisha. Trisha de tacos. Likes tacos. Weird question here. So when I'm doing single leg RDLs or holding certain yoga poses, the bottom of my feet will burn. Not like a cramp or a Charlie horse, but burn like when you're working your muscles. Just weak feet muscles or something else. Single leg RDLs and yoga poses, because you have muscles on the bottom of your feet. You have muscles on the bottom of your feet. You have muscles all over, muscles on the calves, wrap around the foot, the anterior tibialis that support the arch of the foot. You have the plantar fascia. You have all the muscles on the bottom of the feet. So yeah, absolutely. It's muscular, and your body is just working muscles that it's not used to working. So when you're doing a single leg, your body is stabilizing the ankle and many of those muscles wrap around underneath the foot. So that's why you're feeling it. What do you, cinnamon rolls. What do you consider a cheat meal? If I eat 2 Hershey Kisses a day, is that cheating? It could be if you have violent reactions to it. I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish and why you'd be eating 2 Hershey Kisses a day. I don't know if you're just joking or that's a serious thing. Because if it's a joke, I get it. If that's serious, that's a really weird thing to do every day, is eat 2 Hershey's Kisses. So I would strongly question why you're eating poison every day and why, and specifically that quantity, and why that, like, if you're going to have chocolate, have real chocolate. Don't have like that's not real chocolate. So is that considered cheating? Well, that's very opinionated. So, I mean, it really shouldn't affect whatever you're doing, but I wouldn't do it. Yeah. In other words, can I eat candy? No shit. Yeah. Yeah. On this one, I'm not going to give him attention, but someone else. If you want to see someone be a fucking complete idiot, someone left a comment or a question on the feed, so I'm going to ignore that one. You're entitled to your opinion no matter how ass backwards it is. That was my response. So, not lowering myself to say his shitty name. One of those people that wants to leave negativity, and when you click on their profile, you're like, oh, that's why. That's why you're a negative person, right? And of course, they're hypocritical too. They'll put in their profile things like "don't spread hate" or this, that, and the other, and then they spread hate. Yeah, it's like the social justice warriors. So he's a piece of shit. And you can look through the comments if you want to see that. It's funny. I laughed. Chub to fit. Ooh, chub to fit. Even though I work out regularly, I had thyroid cancer and have no thyroid. I seem to lose weight when I do mainly cardio. However, my goal is lower body fat with muscles. Should I keep lifting? Yes. Doing less cardio? Probably. Or more cardio, less weight. Seen this issue before? I don't recall anyone that doesn't have a thyroid. Like, you literally don't. Are you on medication to replace the activity of your thyroid? If you're seeing results, like if you're doing great already, if you want to build muscle, then you need to lift weights. You don't keep on doing. You're losing. If you lose weight when you're doing mainly cardio, it's probably because you're losing muscle mass. So yeah, if you want to build muscle, you got to lift weights for sure. The Boozy, looking to gain muscle and lose around 15 pounds by spring. Is it best to do strictly cardio to get to goal weight before working on muscle mass, or should I do both cardio and strength training and I'll still achieve the same results? You're trying to do two things at the same time, so you're probably going to be disappointed, but I would recommend strongly to absolutely not just do cardio. That's really one of the, I guess, the pinnacle of what you should not do. You should never try to just do cardio and lose weight before building muscle. Absolutely start building muscle. Absolutely start lifting. Don't overdo the cardio. To gain muscle and lose 15 pounds by spring, you're going to be probably disappointed because that's a short time period, but it's not impossible at all. But when you're gaining muscle, the scale is not going to be accurate. Remember, when you're building muscle, you're going to be gaining weight. When you're losing fat, you're going to be losing weight. When you're changing your nutrition, you're going to be losing water. So the scale is not going to be accurate. So don't get bogged down by the scale. But I would strongly suggest looking into eliminating majorly inflammatory foods and start a good solid strength training program with yoga. Meditation will be great for you. All those things. InstaFriend, how do I grow my shoulders? My arms need to look better. How do I grow my shoulders? You hit that shit. How do I grow my shoulders? Well, I'm not going to go into just every aspect of training your shoulders, but you got to fucking train them hard. You got to lift weights. I don't know what you're doing right now, so I really can't answer that question. It's way too general to answer quickly, but you need to be doing all aspects of the shoulder. I would recommend focus on the posterior deltoid and the middle deltoid. The front usually gets a lot, so you can start getting into more yoga, get into some corrective exercise to really bulk up the posterior portion of your shoulder complex. It'll give you more of a 3D appeal, and it'll help fill out your shoulders even without putting on a ton of mass. It'll help give it more shape. Kyle Arbor, I'm officially pulling the trigger on Swolenormous X after the daily. Fuck yeah, dude. Welcome. Looking forward to welcome you to the Famwise. Hell yeah. Half Man, Half Amazing 84. Hey, not much a question, but looking for some advice or insight. Long story short, I have been big my whole life, got sick of that shit, found the gym and gain train, lost over 100 pounds. Congratulations, fam. I'm proud of the results, but I'm torn because I'm now at a point where I'm loose skin, sagging, and you're not liking the way it looks. Gotcha. That's tough. Anyone that loses a ton of weight after gaining a lot is going to have extra skin. So surgery might be necessary. I'm not sure if any of those creams really work. Anyone out there might have a better opinion than I do. I used to use, when I was lifting and stuff, you put coconut oil or coconut butter, cocoa butter, and then you put vitamin E to help with stretch marks and elastin. But if you're growing, if you gain a lot of weight, I have stretch marks on my biceps, I have it on my thighs. And, when you gain muscle or gain any kind of weight, your skin tries to keep up. And most people have stretch marks somewhere. But loose skin, your option's not to stop, but you might have to go get it checked out and see what your options are from someone who specializes in that, because I don't know how many people, it's probably genetic as well, but it depends on the severity of it, and also genetics with how much that will recoil. But if you have a ton of extra, it doesn't just disappear, of course. Sherry, no question for today. Venison bone broth is looking tasty. Going to make your almond bread to go along with it. Nice. 2 more questions here, and then I'll take anything else that's up live. Good session today, fam. This is gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to start picking and choosing questions. What's a good baseline for protein intake when training? To go based off your lean muscle mass, not your body weight. You don't need a gram per pound of body weight. That's a fucking myth. That's bullshit. It's lean mass. So most people don't need anywhere near as much protein as they think they do. So that depends on your lean mass and depends on your intensity of training. So you'd have to provide more information if you want more of a accurate answer. Is that even a question? McKenna Dawn, marijuana and fitness together. Not even a question. I'm not even getting question marks. No, not even the respect of a question mark. Just a statement. Together? I don't know. Do you like it? Do you try it? Have you done it? I mean, I don't know if there's any benefits or negligence, but I know some people that probably get high and go work out. I don't know. Generally, if you're better focused and, you're able to fucking train, most people that really get sick results fucking train hard with all their senses intact. So I'm sure it depends on the person like anything else in this world. Good questions. Great questions, everyone. Thank you so much for asking. I tried to address every single one. I think we did. I think we covered all of it, and it's been a while. It's been an hour and a half. So thank you so much, everyone, for today's Sunday Funday Q&A. It was great. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you go back and listen to this episode. I think the reason why the questions are increasing, and especially on Sundays, I think it's something that's really striking a nerve, that's giving a lot of you value, and I hope to continue to do this. So next time and every week, just make sure that you check and you're following my Instagram profile, and that way you can see when the posts are up, so you can post up your question in the comments below or in my IG story. That just reminds me, I think there's a couple questions in the IG story I didn't get to, so I'll put that on pause. But remember, we've been doing this on Sundays, so just make sure you're following me on Instagram. That way you can see that way you can get the latest, and you'll see the latest updates and when I'm asking for those questions and where you can post them up to get yours heard and shouted out on live. So I think there's a couple ones I didn't do, so that'll be kind of like an interim. We're almost done. Let's see. Mark Appo, if you could choose one guest from the fitness world to interview on your podcast, who would it be? No one comes to mind. I don't like the whole interview concept. Like, let me ask about your life. More like a conversation. So, no one pops into my mind right away, to be honest. I don't follow a lot of people's content, but we haven't done a ton of interview. I really actually, when I have people on the show, I like it to be people that are relatable. I like it to be those that actually are going through the trials and tribulations, putting some of these things into practice, that are actually living the life, not necessarily from a higher level or from a professional standpoint. So you'll be getting more and more people on the show, but not one specific name comes to mind, actually. I didn't look at these questions first, by the way. Arnold? No, I mean, that'd be great, but I wouldn't be like, I would love to talk to, I don't know, I'd be like, how you doing? It's fine. I could bring Arnold down here if I want to every fucking day. Arnold could run the podcast, I don't have to ask Arnold to be here. I'll just go, y'all, I'm Arnold now. I'm talking to you. Y'all, get pumped. So, it's at my call. Alicia, any suggestions on how to meal prep to keep the meals fresh for the week? Yeah, make them in advance. Freeze them. You could freeze your meals, make them and freeze them. Or you can just make them more often. I would not, it depends. Depends on what you're cooking. Depends on what you're cooking. It might stay better longer, but you can always put something in the freezer. How long do you spend at the gym? We answered that question earlier. Pal98 on IG, does keto diet, and these are from the Instagram story, does keto diet cause easy bruising and bleeding, primarily nosebleeds? Asking for girlfriend. I don't know. I don't think any diet should cause fucking nosebleeds. But the keto diet, if you're just getting into ketosis, there is something called or referred to as the keto flu. I'm not sure if people are normally getting nosebleeds and shit, but that could be some kind of deficiency, dehydration. I would definitely Google that. I have not heard that personally, so I couldn't speak on that. Is it true that eating a high protein meal 30 to 45 minutes before bed helps you put on muscle? Not that I'm aware of. It's usually cumulative protein. It's not necessarily the timing of it, like when exactly you get it. As long as your body is getting it throughout the day and throughout your week, that's the most important thing. I do not do that. I used to back in the day. I would drink a protein shake before bed. When you're sleeping, you want to be focused on sleep. And if your body is dealing with digestion while you're sleeping, it's going to interrupt your sleep patterns and your quality of sleep. So if anything, sometimes like a spoonful or a tablespoon of raw honey can be beneficial because it'll prevent your body from doing glucose dumps while you sleep. So some of you that might wake up in the middle of the night, if you wake up in the middle of the night and just feel awake and you can't fall back asleep, or you have trouble falling asleep, it could be because your body is releasing glucose, because the brain needs sugar to function, right? So if you have something like, for example, something that releases a little bit slower, like some like legit raw honey, that can be beneficial before sleep. And you can Google that. Some people really love how that works for them, because your body will have some of that available, so it doesn't have to send this massive release and then it might jeopardize you or wake you up, because you're waking up because your body is kind of spiking and sending sugar out there. So that's like the very simple way to explain it, but that helps some people at night. Is it better to split triceps? T-Druff08, is it better to split triceps or legs to be separate strength and hypo days, or implement both in each workout? I got to read that again. Triceps or legs to be separate. Oh, I'd never do triceps and legs together unless I'm doing like a total body or integrated movement. Is it better to split triceps or legs to be separate? It depends on your scheduling. It depends on your program design. Depends on what your experience is, what your goals are. But for my entire career, I don't do triceps and legs on the same day, if ever. That's just my preference. So that doesn't mean that you can't, but if you're doing total body, technically you're kind of doing them together. But in terms of like, I never do like triceps and legs. Like, what are you doing today? Triceps and legs. Like, that's never happened. that combination has never happened. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Remember, up to 50% off. Do not wait. Now is the time to join Swolenormous X. Literally, now is the fucking time. We're getting back, because now it's not what's it called? It's not Thanksgiving week anymore. Hypo and strength. What do you mean hypo and strength legs? Not together. I will mix hypo and strength legs on the same day. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. You mean hypertrophy? What's hypo? Okay. Anyway, those of you that are in Swolenormous X, we are getting back on the masterclass tips. So that will likely be this week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I'll make that announcement, and we'll have a badass masterclass, probably something on similar to one of the topics we've talked about today. There are a couple good ones. That would be a great way to get back into the masterclass flow. So we'll be doing that live inside Swolenormous X, and you get access to all those if you're a member. Remember, 50% off. So swolenormousx.com if you want to join the private family. Best deal of the year. Don't miss it. It only goes for one more day. So don't wait. And I'll be making some more announcements tomorrow, some more stuff, some more specials, some cool shit going down. But until then, make sure to tune into the podcast. Go to swolenormousx.com to go check out the special offer. Go check out the podcast links to subscribe, and definitely follow me everywhere at Swolenormous, so I can provide you with knowledge nukes that just blow up your eyes and your fucking ear holes every damn day. So we'll be here tomorrow for episode 934 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, Slaycast, in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Tomorrow is also Muscle Monday, so we'll probably be going over some kind of training concept, maybe an exercise demo, or a specific body part. We'll go over something that will help you take your gains to the next level. Tomorrow for episode 934. I'll see you tomorrow, fam. Peace, McGee's, deuce, magoose, your boy, Papa Swole, out.